let us start. So let's just settle into our meditation posture. Take a nice deep breath. And for some of you, it's closer to bedtime than others. So I do appreciate the East Coast people turning up. And especially Jay from overseas. It's great that you can join us. So just check where you're at this evening. So what's been going on for you in the last 24 hours since we met? You can do just a very brief review. Maybe nothing, maybe it's the same as yesterday, but maybe something happened today. Did you wake up feeling depressed? Did you wake up feeling joyful? Just check in with yourself and know that whatever's going on, it will pass. This too will pass. Wonderful saying. And also that it's okay. However it is you're turning up this evening, it's just all okay. So check your sitting posture. Make sure your shoulders are aligned with your hips and that your spine is lengthening. You can imagine it's a string of pearls of light. And perhaps there is a person above, very gently lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae and lengthening all those tiny muscles along your back, along the spinal column, the muscles along there. And then very gently just hinge the head forward. Just allow it to drop down slightly, stretch a little bit in the back of the neck. But don't slump. Eyes are down underneath your closed eyelids, if that's where they are. Relax your jaw, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and your hands just in any position that's comfortable for you, I think, right now. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and the area around the mouth, the back of the head at the base of the skull, the occipital bone. And relax the ears and the inner ear and the jaw, your temples. Just check out what's going on in the back of your neck. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down, your shoulders. Relax your throat and the chest and your belly and limbs, hands, fingers, feet and toes, and bring the mind again to the breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. So the very subtle sensation of air as moving across the outside of the nostrils. So it could be at the base of the nostril or on the edges or on the tip of the nose, depending on the shape of your nose or what training perhaps you've had in the past. The air is slightly cooler as you're inhaling, slightly warmer as you're exhaling. And then just notice if there are any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to investigate with your mind. And then notice the thoughts as they're arising. And try not to judge or have opinions. Just allow them as they arise and abide. And then they just kind of dissipate if you don't engage. they'll just be replaced by new thoughts. It's kind of our mind just runs. And while you're just watching what's coming with some level of curiosity and interest, it's kind of a neutral way. Don't put any weight to what's coming. No, don't follow any stories. Just allow the thoughts to arise without getting freaked out. Just curious. And then let's bring to mind all those people of our life, because this is why we're doing this practice, for all of these sentient beings and also for ourselves. Think about your loved ones, your not so loved ones, and the strangers. Remembering they can change place at any time in your life. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and in their wish to be free from suffering and problems. Their inability to find true happiness, true satisfaction, and their constant engagement and encounters with one form of problem or another. Some level of dissatisfaction. And then think about them all being equal in having this wonderful capacity for an enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this practice for the benefit of all these sentient beings, for all sentient beings, not just people, maybe cows and dogs, birds. And then for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So I think there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind so we can equally change our mind by creating positivity. So we come to the power of regret, first of all. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day and in this life and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And so we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So logically, it would make sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want this future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not looking for a person, a Buddha, a God to forgive us. It's not like that. We're just relying upon these methods of this holy being. So you can imagine Vajrasattva upon the crown of your head, a couple of inches above, facing the same way as you. And he is, you can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And although born out of mud, this lotus is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. and has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and they're shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And they're being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently, and then in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think maybe of someone who's harmed you and have compassion for them, particularly because of the harm they've caused you. They are going to suffer. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mibawa, Sutokaya Mibawa, Supokaya Mibawa, Anarakta Mibawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So then really feel, really try and believe that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And just think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time, forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with the sound of your voice. So imagine that anytime anyone hears your speech, it's a benefit to their mind. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light, this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and switch on a light. The light, the darkness in the room is instantly dispelled. So it's the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart and instantly dispels the darkness of the mind. So any depression or anxiety or bitterness or grudges or jealousy, all this kind of thing completely purified, dispelled as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And you can just imagine Vajrasattva very happily sending light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Hanarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe. So now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream, and even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is where we, again, just renew our decision to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And I think a lot of the harm we do is actually to ourselves. You know, we engage in a lot of negative self-talk, and a lot of the time we don't even realize we're doing it. So this is kind of this undercurrent of negativity towards ourselves. And I think it's particularly prevalent here in the West. So maybe try and catch ourselves when we're sort of starting to feel a little bit anxious or depressed. Maybe check behind that and see what thoughts are arising and whether the story is even real or not. So we can start to think about catching that habit, refraining from it, putting some space in between our thoughts. And then maybe we do things with our speech. Maybe we swear at people or yell at people. And maybe that's unhelpful or harmful or hurtful. So maybe we can think of refraining from that as well. So whatever it is you're working on right now, keep going slowly, humbly, and you'll notice after a while all these habits start to dissipate. The neural pathways atrophy as new, more positive neural pathways are developed. So rejoice in your efforts. Take heart in your efforts. Keep going one step after the other, and you will gradually get there. It takes time. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me are not necessarily the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, little long life prayer. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ho Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelaway, Konza Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to Drug, Pa Dog Sog Dulje, Gon Du Jab Ten Shog. Lama Ursel Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And because you share a beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. There we go again. Maybe everyone have a little bit of thought for Hin, because she's not here tonight, probably means she's not feeling very well. So just have some thoughts for her. Okay, much love, everybody. Sweet dreams. Thank you for hosting, Mary, and whoever else is there